What would you do if you woke up one morning and found $81 trillion in your bank account that didn't belong to you? Hi everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome back to Your Financial Journey. Today we're going to talk about the $81 trillion that Citigroup mistakenly credited to a customer's account, what you should do in real life if this happens to you, and what actually happened to some folks who spent the money that was accidentally deposited into their bank account and that did not belong to them. So let's get started. The $81 trillion that Citigroup mistakenly credited to a customer's account. The Financial Times, or FT for short, recently reported that Citigroup erroneously credited a client account with $81 trillion in a near miss. Now, not only was this $81 trillion significantly higher than the $280 that were supposed to be sent to Citi's client, but it was also massively more than what all of Citigroup was worth at that time. As a point of reference, at the time of this taping, Citigroup has a market value of around $150 billion. According to that FT article, this huge $81 trillion mistake was initially missed by the two employees, but caught an hour and a half later and reversed. In reports to the Federal Reserve and Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, Citi said that no cash actually left the bank. The issue is that this $81 trillion near miss, as Citi called it themselves, was just one in a series of similar mishaps that have plagued the financial giant in recent years. In 2022, a Citi trader accidentally added one too many zeros to a transaction and sent European markets spiraling downwards. According to this Bloomberg article, Citi said that it identified the error within minutes and corrected it. But clearly, even a few minutes can be a long time in financial markets. The violent reaction saw the main European index lose as much as 3%, wiping out 300 billion euros, or $315 billion, at one point. In the end, Citi had to pay British regulators about $78 million for this snafu. So that was in 2022. And even earlier, back in August 2022, when beauty company Revlon was battling with its lenders, Citibank inadvertently wired out nearly $900 million to Revlon's creditors instead of the $7.8 million in interest payments that should have been sent. Here's the kicker, though. When Citibank realized the mistake and asked for their money back, some lenders said, absolutely not. They argued that they believed this was a prepayment on the debt that Revlon owed them, and the courts agreed with them initially. After a bit of legal battling, Citi did at least manage to get back about $500 million from the creditors. So this 2020 misstep cost Citi a whopping $400 million, and on top of that, they were fined by federal regulators as well. So clearly, sending too much money to the wrong recipient is a bad idea for banks. The point is, though, that banks make mistakes, even ones as big as Citi, which should have the proper checks and systems in place. Which brings us nicely to our next question for today's video. What happens if your bank makes a mistake and accidentally deposits money into your account that doesn't belong to you? What should you do? So here are 3 important things you need to know in case you ever find money in your account that you don't have reason to think is rightfully yours. First, do not spend it. Remember, that money is not yours, and spending it is considered theft in the eyes of the law. Plus, if the bank realizes the error, which they almost always do in the end, they will take it back. After all, that missing money belongs to someone else. Plus, in this day and age, there's almost always a digital trail wherever money flows. So the bank will eventually be able to trace where the money went, and if you've already spent it when they trace it back to you, you could be in serious legal trouble. Next, contact your bank immediately. Even if the money is sitting in your account, it's not legally yours unless it was sent as a legitimate gift or settlement. Call your bank and inform them of the mistake. Most of the time, they'll reverse the transaction quickly. Third, don't try to transfer it elsewhere. Some people think they can outsmart the system by moving the money to another account or withdrawing it in cash. This won't work. Again, banks have sophisticated tracking systems, and if you knowingly try to keep money that's not yours, you may face criminal charges when the truth comes out. And if you're wondering what's happened to real-life people who have found money in their bank account that was mistakenly sent to them and that they didn't report, here are 2 case studies. The first case is that of a Pennsylvania couple, Robert and Tiffany Williams, who unexpectedly found $120,000 deposited into their bank account at BB&T Bank, now part of Truist. Instead of contacting the bank, they went on a massive shopping spree, buying an SUV, a camper, and even giving away money to friends. Unsurprisingly, when the bank discovered the mistake, they demanded the money back. Since the couple had already spent it, they didn't have enough cash to return it, so they were arrested and charged with felony theft. Their actions turned what could have been a simple correction, calling and informing the bank of a mistake, into a serious legal case. And in the end, they were sentenced to probation and ordered to repay the full amount. But we couldn't find any details as to whether they ever did repay the $120,000 that was mistakenly sent to them. The second case is Kellen Spadoni, a woman from Louisiana who had $1.2 million accidentally deposited into her account in 2021 due to an error by Charles Schwab. Instead of reporting it, she moved the money to another account and used it to buy a house and a car. She also was arrested and charged with theft, and Schwab took legal action to recover the funds, but in the end only managed to get back about $800,000. These stories highlight a crucial point. Banks have systems in place to correct their mistakes, and when they do, they will come knocking on your door. In fact, financial institutions have entire fraud and recovery departments dedicated to tracing and retrieving mistakenly sent funds, and they will find you if you don't return the money willingly. One of the main reasons financial errors happen, especially in large-scale banking operations, is due to a mix of human error and outdated software. Many banks still use so-called legacy systems, software that was developed decades ago, and while they do their best to update them, mistakes do slip through sometimes. So, does this mean banking errors will always be a thing? Most likely, yes. But always remember, how you handle those mistakes matters and can make the difference between a funny anecdote and a serious run-in with the law. So do pick up that phone and call your bank if you ever spot money in your account that doesn't belong there. Here's a fun thought experiment though. What would you do if a bank accidentally sent you $1 million and told you to keep it? How would you use that money? Leave a comment below and let us know. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can get the latest and greatest personal finance stories and insights. You might also want to check out this video here on President Trump's proposed audit of the $400 billion of gold that should be in Fort Knox. Is it still there? That's another one full of fun financial facts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.